Hello, this is John Thompson, Superintendent for the New Haven Unified School District, and I am at James Logan High School today to film another episode of our 40 Questions With series. I'm here today with one of our new board members, Shruti Kumar, and we're at Logan today because, actually I should let everybody know, we have a big day coming up for our district, April 22nd. That's a Saturday. We are having what we're calling New Haven Day. It's a celebration of our schools and our community. The day is going to start with a 5K run walk, and I'm here with Shruti today because we are trying to figure out the route for the 5K run. So mark your calendars for April 22nd. Should be a fun day here at James Logan High School for our New Haven Day. But today we're here to learn a little bit more about one of our new board members. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera around and you get to meet Shruti Kumar. So, good morning, Shruti. How are you this morning?
I am great. How are you, John?
I'm doing all right. I always do that, and that does not count as one of our 40
What?
questions. So, no.
You have 39 to go.
Sorry. No, we're going to go with 40. Well, let's jump right into it. So, everyone knows that you're a board member, but you are also a teacher.
Yes.
How long have you been teaching, and where do you teach?
Gosh, I've been teaching for 21 years now. I feel old. And 16 years of that has been at City College of San Francisco. I teach physics. I've always taught physics. I love teaching. There's nothing I'd much rather do.
All right. And teaching physics alone, that's pretty amazing.
But hey, it's the funnest science.
I'd say biology is, but that's okay. We can
argue.
We can agree to disagree on that one. So, teaching, what made you want to be a teacher?
So for me, I'm a people person. I love interacting with people. I tend to empathize really well with people. I also have this ability of taking something really complex and breaking it down to something really simple. And I think as a teacher, that is really important, to be able to meet the student where they're at and help them through it and, get them to that aha moment. So I think just those two things, teaching was the obvious choice for me.
Well, if you can do that with physics, that's amazing. Where were you when I was taking physics?
It's not too late.
So what did you want to do when you were growing up? Did you always want to be a teacher?
Geez, I wish I had a more fun answer for you, John. Like I wanted to be an astronaut or something. But ever since I was 6, I knew I wanted to teach.
Wow.
It's funny. And my dad, when I was 6, got me this blackboard, a small little one. And I used to, pretend play. I'm a teacher. And then when I went on to middle school and high school, that was how I learned. So I imagined a classroom and I would teach stuff, and that's how I learned. And then I went on to college, and we had this really bad professor. And I hope my professors are not watching this, but we had one really bad professor, and what happened was I started teaching myself, and then a couple of my friends said, hey, can you teach us after class? So I started teaching them, and then a month or two down the line, it became like a big class after class. So I started teaching my friends, and that's when I realized, man, this is my calling.
Okay.
I don't know, I have a gift maybe.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the knowledge that my professor did, obviously, but I definitely knew how to teach, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah. So, teaching is one thing, but being a school board member is something else entirely. So what made you interested in running for this position?
Why did I run for school board? So two main reasons. One is I'm very passionate about public education. So that was one big reason. Two is service is something that comes very naturally to me. I grew up in India, and my dad was very service oriented. He always did things for the community. He still does, even he's 80 plus and he still does things. So I grew up that way. And then when I moved here, 21 years ago, I started volunteering here. When I had kids, I started volunteering in our district, and then I started volunteering for scouting. I've been a scout leader for 10 years now, and I love it. I'm a youth mentor as well. So service is just something that comes, I enjoy it. So that combination of passion for public education and service, I think just made running for school board was the perfect fit for me.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. So what's it like being both a teacher and a school board member?
I think it's nice. It's nice because I'm in the classroom, so I know what it's like. I know what our students want, what they need. I know how teachers feel. So, unconsciously when we're making decisions, small or big, at board meetings or even, committee meetings or coming up with ideas, the teacher in me is always there, right? So I always bring that teacher perspective it just comes.
It's
part of
an
me.
important perspective to have,
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
All right. You're also a parent in the district. Where do your students go to school, and what's it like to be a parent and a board member? Something entirely different there, too.
That's true. So I have 3 kids. I have a 4th grader that goes to Eastern Elementary, and then I have a 6th grader at IVC and a sophomore at Logan, and they've all always been New Haven kids. Love the district, obviously. Being a parent and a school board member is interesting. So, I feel the pain points, where it is, and all school districts have them. So when parents talk to me about things, I actually feel it because I
Right.
have kids, and it helps me bring that to the board. But not just that, it works both ways, because then when I'm on the other side and I see some of the constraints we're working with, we want to do everything to make our students happy, right? But we do have some real constraints, and that's beyond our control, sadly, sometimes. So I'm able to take that information and take it back to the parents, and they trust me because they know if as a parent I am okay with some of these decisions, then they feel okay. So that's kind of the big part. But I will share, there's fun parts to it too. So 2 days ago, my middle schooler came home saying, hey, there's a 7th grader who told me to pass on this to you. The cream in our cinnamon rolls is less. We need more cream. So if you could get that to the board. So that was really
Good.
funny. So John, I'm letting you know we got to work on that.
I'll put that on my list. More
Yes.
cream in our cinnamon rolls.
Please do.
Got
And
it.
one more. So yesterday I was at a Cub Scout meeting, and there were these 3, young little scouts. How they were in a group, and they were thinking about, okay, you go talk to her. No, you go. Okay, I'll do it. And then they kind of cutely come and they're like, Miss Kumar, we have something for the board we would like you to do. And I was like, okay, what is that? And they're like, can you please tell them to remove dancing? We don't like dancing. So that's
Okay.
that part. Just
All
kind
right.
of being with, because I have kids in the district, so just being with the kids and just hearing them, it's fun. I like
Yeah.
doing that.
All right. Well, hang on. I got to add to my list. So no more cream in the and then no dancing.
There we go.
Okay,
Thank you.
got
I'm
it.
sure there are others who love dancing. So and I love dancing. So no.
All right. Okay. Well, being a board member, the only way you get here is by running for office, and that's not something. It doesn't sound like that's something you've done before. How was that? What was that experience like?
Ooh, it was a huge learning curve. Obviously, first time running, and I grew up in India. Like I said, I moved here 21 years ago. I got my citizenship very recently for various reasons. In fact, this was the first time I was eligible to vote, and I was on the ballot. So that was really cool.
Wow. That may be. I don't think many people can say that. That's
Yeah.
pretty unique. I like that.
It was pretty awesome, yeah. And I love that you can do that in the United States, because I just got my citizenship early this year. Running for office, it's hard, especially when you have a full-time job and you have young kids.
Right.
So campaigning was hard, but I enjoyed parts of it. My favorite part was knocking on doors. I loved it because what tends to happen is, you're usually talking to people around you, who think like you, and
Right.
so you agree. But and then when you start knocking on doors, you see, oh wow, there's so many different views and perspectives and ideas, and I loved it. I love knowing what people in our community want from our schools, what they like, what they're having trouble with. And I have I made a little list. I have a file that I go back to, and I hope to work on some of those things. So that was my favorite part.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite part so far about being a board member?
My favorite part, being able to make a difference in the student's life, that to me is big. So just having that ability to influence decisions that make an impact on our students, because it's, we're all here for them.
Yeah. And that happens for the very first board meeting. It's there's no
Yes,
break-in period.
yes,
That's right
yes,
away.
for sure.
All right. What about the most difficult part about being a board member so far?
The most difficult part. So for me, I'm fairly new, so I'm sure I have worse, things coming at me. But for now, what I'm having, what I find challenging is managing a full-time job plus being board member and being a parent, because it's not just the 2 board meetings we have every
Right.
month, right? There's a lot of preparation that goes into a board meeting. And then I'm serving on a couple committees, so I want to be involved with the committees, and so we meet, we have meetings, and then I choose to help out with projects, and then there are events where I want to go. So, if the forensics department, for example, wants to have me over, I want to be there because I want to see what our students are doing. If the student board president calls me for something, I want to go. So there's so much more than just the board meetings. So for me, I think the most challenging part for now is just being Professor Kumar and being mom and being Trustee Kumar. So just managing everything, effectively and efficiently, I would say.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, I know one of the things that I know about you is you spend a lot of your time volunteering. You talked about service. So one thing I know that you do, and you're probably going to hate me for saying this, but because you'll probably have 100 new clients coming up, but you provide math and science tutoring to our students for free. How long have you been doing that, and how did you start your program?
I love that you brought it up, so I'm happy to help anyone. I started this 12 years ago. I call it the Pay It Forward program. So this is where I tutor students in math and physics. So it's mostly high school math and physics. I have students from Chabot who need help sometimes. I teach them for free, and the deal is that they have to do something nice for someone at some point in their life, right? So they're just paying it forward. The reason I started it was, it's math can be hard, right? And at the high school level, if you try to get tutoring, it is so expensive. It really breaks my heart that there are all these students out there who need help, who have the potential, and if they just get that one-on-one attention and help, their grades dramatically improve and they start liking math, right? So it's not as overwhelming once they get that one-on-one help. So that's kind of where I started, and thankfully I have a job that pays the bills, so I am able to sustain this, and I hope to keep doing it. So if anyone out there needs help in math and physics, especially if you're a high schooler or a college student, then you know where to find me. Happy to help.
Well, that's quite an offer to throw out there. It's the good thing is I don't think I'm not exactly an influencer here with these things, so you're probably safe. Anyway, all right. So now those are the kind of the background questions. Normally we would walk, but I think we'll just stay here because we are going to do a lot of walking coming up on our track. But I'll just go through our rapid fire questions. So, all right, here you go. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite food?
Okay, you're gonna laugh. Bread.
I love bread.
For the past 40 years, every single day, my breakfast has been sliced wheat bread.
Wow.
I cannot eat anything else, and I get cranky if I don't have sliced wheat bread.
Okay.
So, yeah, bread.
See, wow. I always learn something new. That's
me.
that's a good one. Favorite pizza topping?
Pineapple and jalapeno, but I remove the jalapeno when I eat it because I like the spicy taste, but not jalapeno. So it really works well. Try it.
Okay, all right. I might do that. Favorite place to eat in Union City?
Birdhouse. It's on Smith, locally owned, really nice place, and they have really nice Hawaiian themed food, good veggie options.
I know where
John,
it is.
you know I like vegetarian food.
I do. Friday night, what's your go-to meal?
Pizza.
What are you watching or streaming right now?
Right now, Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. I read the books, loved it, so watching it now.
All right. Last book you read?
A couple. Zero to Maker. I'm really into the maker movement. I like that. And then Outliers was something I read 10 years ago, and I love Malcolm Gladwell. I love that he backs up his books with numbers. So I just wanted to read it again to see if I still like it and if it still resonates, and loving it.
Right. You could be famous. Which one would you pick? Being a famous musician or a famous athlete?
Oh, musician.
All right.
Musician.
Nerf guns or water balloons?
Water balloons.
Superpower you would want to have?
Speed. Sonic. Speed. Yeah, that would cut my commute down.
Definitely. Secret talent?
Secret talent. Bollywood dancing. Have the moves.
Whoa, all right. Wow, now that we know that, we might have to be
Yeah,
careful.
go for it.
You shouldn't have let that out.
Hey, it's secret.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Top Gun.
Video games or board games?
Board games.
Favorite band or type of music?
Green Day, so alternative rock.
All right. Favorite hobby?
Painting. I love art, and I dabble in a lot of art projects. Very creative.
Country you would want to visit?
Greece.
Cruising or camping?
Camping. I'm a scout leader.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Snow or sand?
Sand.
Favorite article of clothing?
Yoga pants.
Skydiving or scuba diving?
Neither. The physicist in me just knows the dangers of both. I would say neither. But if you twisted my arm, I would say skydiving.
Okay. Winter break or spring break?
Spring break.
PE or recess?
PE.
Most adventurous thing you've done in your life?
When I turned 40, I hiked Machu Picchu, and it was a great. Inca Trail the elevation is 14,000 feet.
Wow.
The hike itself was fine, but I was 40, and the whole group was 18 or 19-year-olds. So, reality check.
Oh,
Quite the adventure.
Yeah, I'm getting tired thinking about it. If you could trade places with one person for a day, who would it be?
So not a specific person, but I would love to trade places with any commercial pilot. I really want to know what it's like to fly a plane and, be responsible for all these people, and it sounds like fun.
Wow. Okay.
Love to do that.
I'm not sure I'd want to be on that plane on your first day, but that's all right. That's all right.
Hey, I know my physics.
That's true. That's true. 3 things you can't live without.
Let's see. Wi-Fi, carbs. We talked about my love for
Right.
bread, and my laptop.
Okay. Best advice you would give your teenage self?
Do anything you want to, because that's the time you can. Once you're an adult, it's never the same. So go for it.
That's so true. Best kept secret in Union City?
Many of our teachers actually went to school where they teach. So it's kind of interesting. I love it that we never leave. Our teachers love it.
They do. It is
District,
really,
and
it's one of the things that makes New Haven very special.
Yes, for sure.
One thing you'd want to tell our new families coming to the district?
So I know this from experience. We have some of the best, most caring, and amazing teachers in our district. We do.
That I've seen it I agree with you 100%. All right, is there anything you'd like to say to our students, families, and staff?
Yes, for sure. I think, the reason we are such an incredible school district is because we work really well cohesively together. And I hope we can keep doing that. And the best way is keep communicating, keep talking to each other. And thank you for being part of our community.
All right. Well, that's it. That's a wrap.
Hey, I have a question for you, John.
Oh, geez. Okay. That's...
When do I get to ask you for that?
Yeah, we'll schedule something
All
some
right,
other
there
time.
we go.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.